ELI5 How do companies create flavors like fruits, coffee etc. without using actual fruit or coffee? Your tongue is receptive to certain enzymes and proteins molecules. They work almost just like those shapes that you must put into those similarly shaped holes. Find out what combination of shapes you must fit on the tongue to recreate whatever taste you are trying to recreate. Sometimes, you utilize the actual shapes. Sometimes, you find a similar shape that still fits. For example, artificial sweetener is a similar shape to the actual sugars we find sweet. You see, there isn't anything actually sweet about it until your tongue decides it is. The basic process is that a company picks a target, let's say mango, then they look at the chemicals in a bunch of mangoes, and try to figure out what chemicals taste and smell like mango. There are usually hundreds, but 2 or 3 of them do a lot of the work. Then they look at those primary chemicals and try and figure out how to make them in a lab. Maybe it's by combining other chemicals to make new chemicals, or maybe it's by finding microbes that do the work for us. Let's say you've got a brand new Lego set, but dang it, they left a piece out. Well, luckily you have that same piece already, but it's a different color. It'll still work for the build itself, even though it's slightly different. Basically, artificial flavor molecules are shaped the same way as natural flavor molecules, or as close enough as they can currently get. Your taste buds recognize the shape and tell your brain that it's the corresponding flavor. A lot of flavor is actually due to smell. There are different similar organic compounds that contribute to different aromas. They chemically isolate the different compounds in different foods to determine what contributes to the flavor. Flavors can be thought of as Legos. Just like Legos, flavors are made up of different pieces that fit together to create a specific flavor. These pieces, or chemicals, can come from different sources, just like Legos can come from different sets. A good example is vanilla flavor. You can get it from a plant, or you can get creative and extract it from beaver poop. No, that's not what they put in food, but it's possible. Tons of testing and chemical engineering. Every taste-smell compound is a complex mix of many chemicals. The goal is to isolate each one, replicate them, and then mix the fake ingredients to make a copy. Sometimes it only takes a couple of chemicals to make a close enough match. In high school chemistry we made artificial grape and banana flavors. The lab smelled so good that day. These are called esters. They are chemicals that artificially replicate certain tastes and smells. If you've ever had a banana flavored candy, that was an ester. Most natural fruit juice is way too weak in taste to be used in flavoring. So if you've ever had strawberry chewing gum that claims to be made with real fruit juice, it's a few drops of juice and a ton of esters. All flavors come from different molecules interacting with your senses of taste and smell. Food scientists figure out which molecules create which flavors, then either extract or synthesize those molecules. Then they can be added to anything to create the desired flavor combination. Once during middle school, McCormick's seasoning company came in and did some science stuff with us. One thing was they let us sniff 3 different chemicals separately, and they all smelled bad. But when you combine them, it smelled like strawberry. Chemistry is insanely complex and fascinating. There is an Rad video where, through many chemistry steps, he converts latex gloves into edible grape flavoring. The vast majority of companies do not produce the artificial flavors they use. They buy them from one single company, International Flavors and Fragrances IFF. They are publicly traded. I only came in to see if anyone mentioned the raspberry vanilla beaver anal glands castoreum natural flavoring. Technically the truth, beavers are natural. They create flavors very reminiscent of those flavors. For example, Rottenwood and beaver glands are very similar to vanilla, but a lot cheaper. What's crazy is how much smell affects taste. All Skittles taste the same. Taste test them with your eyes and nose shut. Absolutely blew my mind. Marketing. Although actual taste does matter, a large portion of what you think it tastes like is set up by what is written on the tin.